My girlfriend shouted in front of everyone. "You can never become the kind of man I want. That's why I won't marry you." I didn't say anything. I simply walked away. I didn't contact her after that. But out of nowhere, she showed up at my office. When she saw me sitting calmly at my desk, tears started streaming down her face. "I'm 29, work as a project manager at a tech consultancy in downtown Seattle, and until 3 weeks ago, I thought I was building a life with someone who actually wanted me in it. Turns out, I was just a placeholder until something better came along. Or at least, until she convinced herself something better existed." Natasha and I had been together for 4 years. We met through mutual friends at a rooftop party in the summer of 2020, right when the world was starting to open up again. She was sharp, funny, had this way of making everyone in the room feel like they mattered. She'd lean in when you talked, remember small details about your life, ask follow-up questions weeks later. For a while, I thought I mattered too. I thought I was special. We moved in together after 18 months. A decent 2-bedroom in Capitol Hill, hardwood floors, big windows, the kind of place that felt like the beginning of something real. We talked about kids, looked at houses we couldn't afford yet, but saved the listings anyway. Made 5-year plans over Sunday morning coffee. The kind of future that feels solid until it isn't. But over the past year, something shifted. She started making comments. Small ones at first, easy to dismiss. "Maybe you should dress better when we go out with my work friends." Then, "My cousin's husband just got promoted to VP at Amazon. What's your timeline looking like?" I tried to brush it off. Thought she was just stressed from her own job in marketing, dealing with demanding clients and unrealistic deadlines. But the comments got sharper, more frequent, more pointed. She'd compare me to her friends' boyfriends, their salaries, their cars, their vacation photos on Instagram. She'd scroll through her phone during dinner and show me pictures of someone's engagement ring. Tiffany's. 3 carats. Can you believe it? I'd nod and say something neutral, but inside, I felt smaller each time. I wasn't poor. I made $95,000 a year, decent for Seattle, but not enough to fund the lifestyle she'd started craving. I drove a 6-year-old Honda Accord. I didn't wear designer clothes. I bought my suits from Nordstrom Rack. I saved for retirement instead of bottle service at clubs. And apparently, that made me inadequate. 3 weeks ago, we went to her best friend's engagement party. Lauren had rented out this venue on the waterfront, one of those places with floor-to-ceiling windows and a view of the Sound. Open bar, past appetizers, everyone dressed like they were attending a film premiere. I wore a simple navy suit I'd had for 3 years. Natasha wore a gold sequin dress that probably cost more than my entire wardrobe. The party was fine at first. I made small talk with people I barely knew. Smiled at the right moments. Congratulated Lauren and her fiancé, some finance guy named Preston who wouldn't shut up about his Tesla and his stock portfolio. Halfway through the night, Natasha pulled me aside near the bar. Lauren was standing there with Preston, and they were talking about their honeymoon plans. 2 weeks in the Maldives, overwater bungalows, private chefs. "Why can't you be more like him?" Natasha said, gesturing toward Preston. I blinked. "Excuse me. Just look at him. He's ambitious. He takes care of Lauren. They're going to the Maldives next month." The Maldives. We went to Colorado in June. She laughed. Not a kind laugh. The kind that cuts. Colorado. Right. We stayed in an Airbnb and went hiking. How romantic. Lauren shifted uncomfortably. Preston smirked into his whiskey, clearly enjoying this. I kept my voice low. "Can we talk about this later?" "No. I'm tired of pretending." Her voice rose. People started glancing over. Conversations faltered. "You can never become the kind of man I want. That's why I won't marry you." The room didn't go silent. It wasn't a movie, but enough people heard. Enough people stopped mid-conversation and turned. I saw her cousin staring, mouth slightly open. Her mom, standing near the cake table with a champagne flute frozen halfway to her lips, looked horrified. Lauren looked like she wanted to disappear. I didn't yell, didn't defend myself, didn't beg or argue or try to explain. I just looked at her for a few seconds, taking in the face I'd kissed 1,000 times, now twisted with something between frustration and contempt. I nodded once, set my drink down on the bar, and walked out. The cold night air hit me as I stepped outside. I took an Uber home, our home, for a few more hours at least. I packed a duffel bag with clothes, my laptop, toiletries, and some books. I left my key on the kitchen counter and texted my brother Kevin. "Can I crash at your place tonight?" He responded in 30 seconds. Doors open. I stayed at Kevin's apartment in Fremont that night. He had a pull-out couch and didn't ask questions. Just handed me a beer and said, "Whenever you're ready." Natasha sent me 14 messages over the next 2 days. I saw the notifications light up my phone, but didn't open them. Didn't read them. On day 3, I blocked her number. Kevin asked me if I was okay on the 4th morning, over coffee. Yeah, I said. You don't seem okay. I will be. He studied me for a moment, then nodded. Let me know if you need anything. I threw myself into work. Picked up extra projects. Volunteered for the assignments no one else wanted. Stayed late. Came in early. My boss, Angela, noticed during a one-on-one. You've been putting in a lot of hours, she said. I like staying busy. She gave me a knowing look. Everything all right. Just going through some personal stuff. Work helps. Well, don't burn out. But I appreciate the effort. Actually, I wanted to talk to you about taking lead on the Cascade account. It was a promotion in all but name. More responsibility, more visibility, and a raise would follow if I didn't screw it up. I'm in, I said. 2 weeks passed. I started looking at studio apartments. Found one in Ballard, small but clean, with exposed brick and enough space for my stuff. Signed a lease. Natasha's name wasn't on our old lease, just mine. We'd never gotten around to adding her, so I gave her 30 days to move out through my lawyer. Clean. Professional. No drama. I heard through mutual friends that she was upset, that she couldn't believe I was doing this to her. I didn't respond. Didn't engage. On a Thursday afternoon, I was at my desk reviewing a client proposal when the receptionist called my extension. There's someone here to see you. She says it's urgent. I don't have any meetings scheduled. I know. She's insistent. Says her name is Natasha. My chest tightened. Tell her I'm unavailable. She's crying in the lobby. I closed my eyes and counted to 5. I'll be right out. When I walked into the lobby, she was sitting on the leather couch near the floor-to-ceiling windows, mascara streaked down her face. She looked thinner than I remembered. Her hair wasn't styled like usual. No product, just pulled back in a messy ponytail. She was wearing jeans and an old sweatshirt I'd bought her 2 Christmases ago. She stood up the second she saw me, eyes red and swollen. Can we talk? Her voice cracked. No, please. Just 5 minutes. I glanced at the receptionist, who was pretending to look at her computer screen, but clearly listening. Not here. We went outside to the plaza in front of the building. It was mid-October, chilly, leaves skittering across the concrete. She wrapped her arms around herself. I made a mistake, she said. I didn't respond. I was horrible to you. I know that. I've been thinking about it every single day. I don't know what I was thinking. I was so focused on what I thought I wanted that I didn't see what I already had. You had 4 years to see it. I know. But I'm asking you to forgive me. Please. I'll do anything. I looked at her. Really looked at her. The same face I used to wake up next to. The same voice that used to whisper, I love you in the dark. You humiliated me in front of your entire family, I said quietly. You told me I wasn't good enough. In public. In front of people I thought respected me. And now you're here because what? You realized your standards were unrealistic? I realized I was wrong. Wrong about what? That I'm not rich enough. Or that you can't find anyone better. She flinched like I'd slapped her. That's not fair. You don't get to decide what's fair anymore. Her face crumpled. Fresh tears spilled over. I love you. You love the idea of me. Until you didn't. That's not true. Natasha, you compared me to other men for a year straight. You made me feel like I was failing some test I didn't even know I was taking. You looked at me like I was disappointing you just by being myself. And the second you found me lacking, you said it out loud. In front of everyone who mattered to you. I was drunk. I was stupid. You were honest. She shook her head violently. No, I wasn't. I was being cruel and petty, and you meant it. Maybe you regret saying it, but you meant it. Tears streamed down her face. So that's it. For years, and you're just done. You were done first. You just didn't have the guts to leave. She tried to reach for my hand. I stepped back. I'm seeing someone, she blurted out. I went completely still. What? I went on a few dates. After. I thought maybe. I don't know. I thought it would help me move on. Help me get over you. But it didn't. It made everything worse. It made me realize I don't want anyone else. I only want you. I laughed. Couldn't help it. A short, bitter sound. You're unbelievable. It was a mistake. I didn't sleep with him. We just went to dinner twice, and I felt nothing. Nothing. Because he wasn't you. I don't care. Please don't shut me out. We can fix this. We can go to therapy, we can. There's nothing to fix. You broke something that doesn't go back together. She was full-on sobbing now, shoulders shaking, barely able to breathe. A couple walking past glanced over with concern. I kept my voice level. I'm sorry, she whispered. I'm so sorry. I felt nothing. No anger. No sadness. No satisfaction. Just tired. Profoundly tired. You should go, I said. Can I at least text you? Can we stay in touch? Can we be friends? No. So you're just going to erase me? Like I never existed. You erased yourself. I turned and walked back inside. Didn't look back. Heard her crying behind me, raw and broken, but I kept walking. Through the doors, past the receptionist who quickly looked away, back to my desk. I sat down, opened my laptop, got back to work. Update 1. A week later, her mom called me. I almost didn't answer. The number wasn't saved in my phone anymore, but something made me pick up. Hello. Hi, sweetie. It's Karen, Natasha's mom. I'd always liked her. She was warm, practical, had never treated me like I wasn't good enough. Hi, Karen. I just want to say I'm sorry for what happened at Lauren's party. Natasha told me everything. What she said was unacceptable and cruel, and you didn't deserve that. I appreciate that. She's been a complete mess. I know you probably don't care, but she really does regret it. She cries every day. She barely eats. Karen, I'm sorry she's hurting. I really am. But that's not my responsibility anymore. There was a long pause. You're right. You're absolutely right. You were always so good to her. I hope you know that. I do. If you ever change your mind. I won't. But thank you for calling. And thank you for always being kind to me. Take care of yourself. You too. I hung up. Kevin asked me that night if I felt bad. We were eating pizza on his couch, watching a Mariners game. About what? I said, her being a mess. No, not even a little. I thought about it. No, I feel bad that she's hurting, but I don't feel responsible for it. She made her choices. He nodded. Good. You deserve better. Thanks. Update 2. 3 months later, I ran into Lauren at a coffee shop in Belltown. She was alone, no Preston in sight. She looked tired. Hey, she said, awkward and uncertain. How are you? Good. You. She let out a long breath. Wedding's off. I raised an eyebrow. Sorry to hear that. She shrugged, stirring her latte. Turns out he was texting his ex-girlfriend the whole time we were engaged. For months. I found out 2 weeks before the wedding. Should have seen it coming, honestly. That's rough. Yeah. She looked at me directly. For what it's worth, I thought what Natasha said at my party was awful. I told her that afterward. I pulled her aside and told her she was out of line. Thanks. She's still talking about you. A lot. She brings you up every time we hang out. Asks if I've seen you, if I've heard anything about you. That's not my problem. Lauren nodded slowly. Fair enough. You seem good, though. You seem lighter. I am. Good. You deserve that. She picked up her coffee. Take care. You too. She left. I got my coffee and headed to work. I saw Natasha one more time. 6 months after everything ended. I was at the Whole Foods near our old apartment, picking up groceries before heading back to my new place in Ballard. She was in the produce section, holding a bag of apples, looking thinner and older than I remembered. She saw me first. Her eyes widened. Hi, she said, tentative and small. Hi. You look good. Thanks. I'm moving. Out of state. Got a new job in Austin. Better pay, fresh start. That's good. Congratulations. She set the apples down, hands shaking slightly. I really am sorry. For everything. For what I said, for how I treated you. You deserved so much better. I know. She flinched slightly. Do you think you'll ever forgive me? I thought about it. Honest thought. Took my time. Maybe. Probably, eventually. But not in a way that changes anything between us. She nodded slowly. Eyes filling with tears she didn't let fall. I understand. I hope Austin's good to you. Thank you. I hope. I hope you find someone who appreciates you the way I should have. I think I will. She looked like she wanted to say more. Opened her mouth, closed it, then just nodded. Take care of yourself, I said. You too. I checked out and left. Didn't look back. Didn't feel the need to. I'm 30 now. Got promoted to senior project manager last month. Moved into a bigger apartment in Fremont, closer to Kevin, with a view of the canal. Started seeing someone new, Adriana, a graphic designer I met at a work conference. Nothing too serious yet, but she laughs at my jokes, doesn't care that I still drive the same Honda, and thinks my ambitions are just fine the way they are. We went hiking in the Cascades last weekend. She took pictures of the mountains, of the trail, of me looking out over the valley. Posted one on Instagram with the caption, "Good company, better views." Kevin texted me later. "She seems great." She is. "You seem happy." I am. And I meant it. Sometimes I think about Natasha. Not often. Just when something reminds me. A song we used to listen to. The coffee shop where we had our first date. The hiking trails in Colorado. But I don't miss her. I don't miss the version of myself that bent over backward trying to be enough for someone who'd already decided I wasn't. I don't miss walking on eggshells, second-guessing every purchase, every choice, every word. I heard through the grapevine that she's dating someone in Austin. Some guy who works in venture capital. I hope he's what she's looking for. I genuinely do. Because I found what I was looking for. Not in another person, though Adriana's great, but in myself. In knowing my worth doesn't depend on someone else's approval. In understanding that the right person won't make you feel like you're failing just by being yourself. Last week, I sold the Honda. Bought a used Subaru Outback. Not because I needed to impress anyone, but because I wanted something reliable for camping trips and road trips and all the adventures I'm planning. Adriana came with me to pick it up. On the drive home, she turned to me and said, "You seem really content." I am. That's rare. A lot of people spend their whole lives chasing something and never find it. I thought about that. I think I was chasing the wrong things for a while. Or chasing what someone else wanted. Now I'm just living. She smiled. I like that. Me too. And that, honestly, is the best ending I could have asked for. Not dramatic. Not cinematic. Just real. Just peaceful. Just mine.